friends, time for the ritual waiting for the stream to catch up so I can make sure that it is actually live. Audio levels look good. Hey, like a tiny peeky, tiny bit peeky. Okay, Twitch is going. Excellent. And YouTube's thinking about it just real hard. All right, excellent. Looks like we're good to go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Livecoding. We are going to be continuing to work on a project we've been working on for a while now. And the general idea, I don't know why I always forget to have this tab open, is that the New York Times had this dialect quiz in 2013, and it was super duper popular, and you answered some questions, and then it compared your answers to a bunch of dialect data collected from, I think, predominantly students at Harvard, but also people that they could collect data from. Like, it was, I believe the Harvard dialect quiz was from like a class project. And courtesy of Bert Vox, we actually do have the underlying data, and we've trained at this point a couple of models, and the one that we're going with right now is an XGBoost model. And we've done all of that in a separate repository that isn't public, and I'll share the modeling code once we're sure this is the model we're going with, I think, so I can tidy it up a bit and it's not too spaghetti. Maybe a little bit spaghetti, like fettuccine. Spaghetti code is just like wild code. And the thing that we're doing now that I'm kind of okay with the model that we have, is we want this to be part of a virtual assistant chatbot sort of thing, where you answer a bunch of questions and then you, at the end, the assistant's like, hey, you sound like you're from Pennsylvania or wherever. And it's actually going to be city and state. So Granby, Massachusetts, for example. And I think we'll probably give people the top 3 cities because we did soft prob, so we can do a little ranking there. But we did all of our modeling in, please render my notebook. Thank you, VS Code. In a Python notebook, Jupyter notebook with a Python kernel, and we don't want to be serving it out of a Jupyter notebook. We want to be serving it out of just a flat Python file. So what we've been working on is exporting our encoder and our model, and then using our pre-trained encoders and models to handle incoming data and then return a prediction. And all of this is going to be in excuse me, it's spring in Seattle and the seasonal allergies are wild. And I don't want to take antihistamines because they make me just really sleepy. So we have this notebook here called Action Test, and once we're done, we're going to take all of the code here and also the objects that we've trained, these serialized objects, and load them into our action file in our assistant, and then that will be a piece of code that you can call while your assistant is running. So let's say you have a conversation where someone's like, hi, and you're like, hi back, and then they ask for something, and then you have to like run a database lookup to answer it. So you could do that as an action and then return the text that way. So that's what we'll be doing. Pranav says, hello, I'll be watching the stream for some time while I procrastinate on my coding drafts. Nice. Yep, about that time. I don't know. I kind of gotten out of the research game as a producer. I'm still reading a lot of research, maybe obviously. I don't know that that's obvious. I still read a lot of NLP research. But I don't miss paper deadlines. So what we're working on now is taking the serialized objects, reading them in, and then appropriately applying them. So let's run some of this. Answer 37. Okay, excellent. That is what I want. And what we did last week is we took our encoder object and figured out how to actually serialize it correctly. Because the problem is you can, you can serialize the encoder, but unless you serialize the class attributes, you will have an untrained encoder at the other end. And an encoder, oh goodness, excuse me. For those of you who aren't familiar, takes in input, usually some sort of vector, that has different values. In this case, it's a label encoder, so these values are strings, and outputs a numeric vector where each string is mapped to a specific number, right? So for example, if you had 50 states in your input, your output would be, you know, the numbers 1 through 50, and if, say, California was 1, and you had California 3 times, you'd have 111, and then you had Wisconsin, let's say that's 42, 42, and so on and so forth. That's the general idea. We did finally figure that out, but we still have a problem. So at this point, we have a little test case that I have loaded in as well that we know what the answer should be for. So if we look at test case encoded, you can see that we have 19 here named rows, because it's an object, which means this is a panda series. So we have 19 named rows, which is great. Sorry, 20, because we include the target, because I want the named rows. And each of them, it looks like, has an array of length 1 in them. So this is correct. We do want these numbers in this order. The problem is pollen. I also changed out the filters, or washed out the filters in my air purifier last night, which means it wasn't running because they were drying. So the problem at this point is that we want to convert this series into an XGBoost D matrix, which is a data structure specific to XGBoost, which is the modeling library that we're using. And when we try to do it, we get an error. So let me run this cell real quick just to show you the error happening in real time. Oh, we don't. Yeah. Okay, we do. And we get a type error. So no supported conversion for types D type O. So if you see here, the data type of the series is object. This might be a very simple fix. Maybe we can just convert the series to a numeric vector. Let's see. Convert pandas series to numeric. I'm just Googling it another window. So let's see. I think it was to numeric. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's great UX to have that whole list you need to scroll through at the top. All right, convert argument to numeric type. The default return D type is float 64 or int64, depending on the data supplied. Probably int64 here. Use downcast parameter to obtain other D types. Please note the precision loss may occur, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about that. All right, let's try that. So it is a pandas method. It's a pandas method. Okay. And I think, if you were tuned in last week and we had trouble with the windows, I think I've turned off all of the window moving. But we'll see, because it was not extremely apparent what happened, based on the feedback I got after changing a bunch of settings. All right, type error. Invalid object type. Type, test case encoded, none type. Noted. What you looking for? Convert argument. What can argument be? Scalar, list, tuple or tuple, 1D array, or series. Is it not a series, maybe? Let's see. I'm pretty sure it is, but I could be wrong. All right. D type O, it's an object. Okay, but that would only work if it were, in fact, a data frame. New Plazo 1 says test case encoded is a data frame. Maybe it is a data frame and not an object. All right, so let's try that again. Really quickly. Doop, doop, doop. What you look like? Name 1851. All right, can we do 1851? No, invalid syntax. Can I get just the first row? Or sorry, can I get just the first column maybe? Maybe that'll do it. Dot iloc 1, right? Oh no, it's not iloc, it's for rows. New Plazo 1 says type test case encoded. Thank you. No, it is a series. It is a series. So it should work. Is it a named series? Invalid object type. Invalid object type at position 0. Interesting. Maybe there's something else we're missing. Downcast. If not none, the data has been successfully cast to a numerical D type, or if the data was numeric to begin with, downcast that resulting data integer assigned. Okay. Numeric if parsing succeeded. Return types depend on input, series of series, otherwise ND array. Okay, maybe we can cast as type here. Zacharias E or Zacharias E says, I think the elements in your series are lists for some reason. New Plazo 1 maybe. All right, let's check that out. I agree that they are definitely some sort of weird data format, and I guess I assumed that pandas would just automatically handle lists of length 1 as if they were not in lists. Yeah, no, I think it is a list. Okay, so oh wait, I think I need to run these together actually. Nope. Okay, so it does need to So I was thinking that maybe we had accidentally cast it as a list, but it looks like we intentionally cast it as a list. Lambda functions. Pranav says, lol, you do 2 pronunciations of tuples or tuples. Are you team tuple or team tuple? No strong preference. Maybe like a slight preference for tuple. I think I'll basically just match whatever the person I'm talking to says, but I don't know what you say, so you, plural. All right. New Plazo 1 suggests we try this. Invalid syntax. Yes, I see how that could be. Okay. Okay, so what is this doing? So for each row, it's getting the first item from a list. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. And then let's actually just... Well, first let's make sure it works, and then let's put it in the section where we're keeping our good code. Peace out. I don't think I need this anymore. Let's see if it works. All right, looks like it does work. Fingers crossed we can change it to a matrix. Are we getting different errors? Yes. So, progress. Where is the error being thrown? labels. Okay, so it doesn't know about the labels of that. Also, you get to go in the good code section. So I remember we added that line because we had a thing where if we didn't specify labels, we instead got new labels like F1, F2, etc. And that's not going to match to the incoming data from our participants, users, I guess would be what this particular class of individual would be called. Yeah, all right, let's see if we can do test case encoded index instead and see if it's less angry about that. Must be real number, not string. Ravi says, yeah, you did it, Rachel. Clapping. Thank you, Ravi. New Plazo 1 and Zacharias E helped quite a bit, so. What if we just do it without the labels? Are we still going to get that weird error? Okay, so we get an error in... Yeah, okay, so this is the error that we were having problems with. So we have this expected feature names, and instead we get these feature names. Maybe labels is not what I think it is. Maybe it's something else. So what's the function we're using again? XGBoost, D matrix, feature labels. That one's an R. Documentation. Nope, that one's for R as well. Feature name must be unique. No feature names for R. Feature names mismatch with XGBoost model. Okay, I think this is what I'm looking for. Nope, they're running into it when they get explain. Here, I'll pop this over. Okay, so there's an error with Lime, and it looks like they're getting the same sort of generated feature names instead of the actual feature names, which have been provided. My glass today has a little hedgehog on it. It says, I don't know how you can see that, but it's a hedgehog wearing little racing goggles, and it says, can't touch this. It was a gift from a friend. All right, you are removing VS, so your Lime calls, the names will differ. You should pass in the same data used to train the model. Yes, I think that's what I did. Very unlikely they have the same bug. And that's all our code, so that's not going to be helpful for us. Okay. I guess we should just probably search for our error, huh? Value error, feature name mismatch. And then Python XGBoost. Because the R answers are not going to help us. All right, I've trained a model. When I try to predict, I get this feature name mismatch error. Same error we're getting at the same point, so I think that's a good sign. Also, in order to build the feature vector in the same structure, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I also had this problem when I used Pandas data frame, non-sparse representation. I converted training and testing data into NumPy ND array. That's how I got the error. Try converting the error into an ND array. Now fit the model. This is the case in the order of column names while model building is different from the order of column names while scoring. Interesting. I've used the following steps to overcome this error. Load the pickle file. Yes. Extract all the columns with order in which they were used. Reorder the pandas data frame. All right, yeah, let's give that a shot. And this is Python code. Yes, excellent. All right, let's see if we can get these feature names that this person is getting. Name, oh, that's right. Duh. I believe I called it Dialect Classifier. All right. And then Q5, Q28, Q8, and then I think we got to drop class target first. I think that's our problem. So I think what's happening is we have a different number of inputs and outputs. So let's try dropping the name, class target name. And actually we should probably do that sort of farther up so that we don't provide the class as input. Ugh. Sorry, allergies. They're driving me nuts, man. All right. How do I remove a row? Remove row by name in pandas, because I'm pretty sure drop is just for columns. Could be wrong about that, but I feel like it's fairly true. Let me pull this over. Also, no weird minimizing or maximizing yet. New place at one says train equals train test column if train is a data frame. Would that would select the column though. Also, it's gotta be a joke, right? Because it's April Fool's. It was announced yesterday, though? Okay, maybe it's not a joke. Maybe they actually did do dark mode in Stack Overflow. Cool. Shane John Paul says, that's real. Listen, if it were me, I would not have launched a feature in the last 3 days, but I did not make that decision. Cool. And hi. Burbea? I don't know how to say that. I'm so sorry. Burb. We'll just go with Burb. All right, not a joke. You can't actually get dark mode in Stack Overflow. Noted. All right, how do I remove index name foo from the data frame? Del df.index.name. All right, let's try that. It's a Turkish name. Oh, interesting. Fun fact about Turkish is that it's used in pretty much every intro to linguistics class because it's got rich morphology and also vowel harmony. So a lot of intro to linguistics students, even if they've never encountered Turkish in any other capacity, have done some data sets with the word kitab. All right. I literally was just looking at it, and then I got distracted by Turkish. All right, there we go. Del, and then testcase.index.name, and then the name is class target. Okay, and is this in place? Okay, yes, it looks like it is. Also, I should probably finish typing the name, huh? That would also help. None type object has no attribute class target. Oh, I see. It's deleting the name of the column that the index it is in. That is a different thing than the thing that I want to do. New place says test.drop columns equals target in place equals true. So that would drop the column though, right? I just want to delete the one. Yeah, let's take a look. I want to delete one row, and it's this row. Right. Okay, so I'm thinking that's right, that'll delete the columns. Delete row in pandas. Delete test target name. All right. So delete test case, and then the name is class target, like so. Name class target is not defined. Because this feels like it should be the name of a column and not a row. Is my feelings, but I could be wrong about that. String. All right, and then if we look at test case, thank you. I am less comfortable with pandas data frames than I am with other flavors of data frames. All right, at this point, will we get errors? Almost certainly, because we have removed one of the columns. Y contains previously unseen label 0. Interesting. All right, let's take it again from the top and see if we can get this to work. All right, that looks good. I think we can get rid of this cell at this point. All right, and we get an error in dialect classifier, feature names mismatch. Okay, so the problem was not that we had an extra row in our data frame. Unfortunate. Okay, let's check out the XGBoost matrix and see what we get there. Dig into it a little bit. Also, William says in quotes, and then New Plaza 1 says sequence is different of columns, perhaps. Let's see. So it's expecting 50, 28, 80 to 103, and it's getting 50, 28, 80 to 103. So I think the order here is correct. Let's check out just test case encoded D for data matrix. Okay. Feature names. All right. So it is at this point, it's in the creating of the D matrix that we have created new feature names instead of the old feature names. Knowledge within says read later in the error message. Expected starts with 105, not 50, I think. Oh, it does, doesn't it? Interesting. I think XGBoost should be able to handle order mismatch, though, as long as the feature names are correct. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that. But definitely the feature names are wrong. Because you here. Maybe I can actually just like assign it. Can I just give them the feature names from the index of test case encoded? And that is a list. I can't just do as list, huh? There's no way that's gonna work. Oh, it's a lists are built in, so it might be, no. Convert, what was it? Was it a data series? Convert pandas series to list. If it's just like PD to list, I'm gonna feel very dumb. It is indeed PD to list. All right. Except there is no. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. There's no underscore. So we should... No, I want it to replace the thing that I highlighted. I don't know that this is gonna work, but it might. That would be good. All right, so we're creating a D matrix. We are reassigning the feature names, and now when we ask the feature names, we should get the actual feature names and not the fake feature names that it made up because it wanted to. Okay, those look correct. And now we will see if the order is the problem or the labeling is the problem. That looks right, no errors. All right, and these look to be sort of within a reasonable order of magnitude. I think that worked. Zachariah says index values to list. Yeah, I didn't see that in time. Shane John Paul said, why are there two separate lists in the error, like got list, but expected list? I don't know. Mysterious. I think it's because I also specified labels, and labels are different than feature names, maybe? Except I didn't. All right, we have completed 2 to-dos. And in fact, the only thing, I think we can get rid of this as well. Create, convert input data to D matrix format. And I think the only thing we need to do is figure out how to return the top 3, which would be fantastic. All right, so I'm pretty sure we did this in our classifier building notebook in here somewhere. So this is where we did all the modeling, and you can see we had different types of algorithms as well. We tried k-nearest neighbors, and then we eventually went with XGBoost, and I wanted the top 3. All right. So this is what we used. And I don't know if it's going to work, but it might. Oh, yes, it would help if I actually. All right, and then what did we do with top 3? Nothing. Yes. So we need one more piece of information for this to work. So this is the index. No, it's the label. It's the encoded label of the top 3 cities. But the encoding was done. No, we have the encoder. We have the encoder. We can decode the encoder. Because it should be in our encoder object, which we called D classes, I believe. So we should be able to do, we should be able to decode these using our encoder that we saved and read in. Maybe. Class underscore target. Let me see. Oh, I bet it needs to be in quotes. Yeah, okay, so that is a label encoder. Can we... What did we need to do to get... we need to do transform, but like reverse transform? What methods do we have? Oop, nope, that's not what I wanted. Fascinating. This is not our code. I don't know why this is showing up. Mysterious. I don't think I even have an R kernel connected to VS Code. So that's a thing that it did on its own, I guess. Oh, I got my Python mug today. All right. Label, encoder, scikit-learn, reverse. And new Plazo 1 says dir. What does this do? List of strings, if called without an argument, returns the names in their current scopes. Oh, interesting. So this is the list of all the strings and available whatnots for the label encoder. Class. Okay, so this is the one that gave us so much trouble. Fit transform, inverse transform. I bet that's it. And then let's just give it 1341. Did I misspell it? I did. No, I just want to copy it. Copy. Paste. Bad input shape 0. Format shape. Ooh, okay then. Let's pop this open and take a little look. Make it a little bit bigger, zoom in a little bit. All right. Label encoder, that's what we are using. Array of shapes holds label of each class. Label encoder can be used to normalize labels. Fit. Okay, so inverse transform is definitely the right thing. It looks like it needs to be a list, so I think I'm going to convert it to a list. New Plazo 1 says give it a list. Yep, I think we're on the same page. Can I give it an array? Surely it's not just gonna do this, right? Is it this simple? It sure ain't. Sure ain't. Okay. Can I give it... I don't know whether that would be the top row or the top column. All right, New York, Houston, and Miami. Those are nowhere close to each other, dialectologically speaking. Well, maybe this person moved around a lot. Or maybe our model's inherently flawed and we're going to have to go back and fix it somehow, which is definitely a possibility. But we will cross that bridge when we get to it, because first I want to get it sort of working so that we can tweak things and then try them and tweak things and then try them. Just for a little context, New York would be kind of its own thing, Eastern Seaboard. Houston... mostly the South, and then Florida is no man's land. If you look at dialectology maps, you'll notice that Florida just like has no color in the map. It's just not assigned to anything, because there's a lot of sort of migration in and out of there, and yeah. Although like certain cities like Miami tend to have pretty strong local features, but at a state level, Florida is. Well, and also the Panhandle will sometimes be sort of like scooched in there with Alabama. But for the most part, it doesn't have a strong dialectological identity. All right, how do I convert an array to a list? Python convert array to list. There is no T in array, as it turns out. It looks like it's just to list. Okay, so can I do top 3 dot to list? step 1, use the right variable name. Bad input shape, 1, 3. Okay, so it's expecting... New place says, instead of trying to do it on the whole thing, take just the first row and or column. Okay, fantastic. That looks like it works. Great. So my worry was that we didn't actually, my worry was that we needed to go back and create a new label encoder and export it and handle it separately, and it looks like we do not. Because we should, at this point, have everything we need. I guess Houston and Miami do share some features. They have a large sort of Hispanic-speaking population. But I don't think any of the questions in this test are specifically picking up on Chicano English. So this looks like a thing where it's maybe just guessing my majority classes, huh? Zeltium says if you use the ravel method on an array, it makes it one-dimensional. Oh, interesting. In Python. Huh. I knew about raveling in R, but I just sort of assumed that nothing from R translates to Python. That's not true. Some things do, but a lot of things don't. Particularly because my R style tends to be pretty functional, and Python's, or at least the libraries that I use, tend to be pretty object-oriented. Interesting. Good tip. Thank you. All right, so speaking of functions, I think I want to zhuzh this a little bit, make it look a little bit cleaner and tidier before I pop it into my assistant. So, and then the other thing I have is I really want to know the, so test case, I overwrote it, didn't I? Oh, no. Okay, so it is a pandas data frame. Nope, it's a series. It's a panda series with each entry being a list of length 1. So that's what we need to have our input look like to this whole function, which we may want to like tweak a little bit, because that's a little bit of a funky thing to have. Is it though? Actually, I don't know that it is, because what we're probably going to have to do is we're going to have to take the user input, which is going to be freeform, and map it onto one of our classes, which are going to be sort of like the provided classes and then other. I think they all have an option for other. Let's look at the data real quick. Nope, that's encoded. There we go. Let's look at the data real quick. I'm pretty sure they all have an option for other. Hopefully. If not, we'll find out about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the user input and match it to the appropriate option. So like kitty cross, probably like catacorner, kitty corner, catawampus. Actually, I say catawampus. I don't think that's very common. I think usually that means like jostled, like messed up, but for me it can mean like across the diagonal. And by not very common, I'm pretty sure I looked it up in Dare a while ago, and it seems to be very, very localized to Virginia. Dare, if you're not familiar, is the Dictionary of American Regional English, which is just a lot of fun if you're interested in dialectology. And you can get a digital subscription. That's really nice. I'm just pulling it up so you can take a look. Boop. There we go, Dictionary of American Regional English. And then there's a digital version that you can subscribe to that I am a big fan of. So if you're finding this sort of topic interesting, I would recommend checking it out. All right, so where I was going with that is we're probably going to have to do some sort of best guessing matching, and I believe some of that is actually built into Rasa. And then we'll probably have an array of probabilities, and then we can pick the top most probable thing, which might be a list. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. At this point, let's just get everything into its Sunday best, presentable, ready for company. And I'm going to put this in a function called load data, I think. Python function, definition, syntax. Because sometimes, you know what, I just get it slightly wrong. All right, so it is, it is def, not define, and then function name, and then parameters. Excellent. Def load data, and then I don't think it takes any parameters because these should be in the same. I guess the best parameter it could take would be a file extension, maybe? Skyle says, what are you doing? Hi. Hello. We are working on taking our modeling code out of a Jupyter notebook, specifically this one, and creating a beautiful Python a piece of code that we can use to execute in our virtual assistant. So when the user finishes answering a bunch of quiz questions, we will execute the code, convert their answers to input data structure, classify them, and then at the end tell them the top 3 cities that has language usage most like theirs. So. But I want to make this a little bit more modular, a little bit easier to handle. I guess I could create a class for this where I have like one big chunky data modeling class, which could be good for versioning, because then I could be like, oh, I want to use this version of the model instead of that version of the model. Do I want to do that? Not really. I might go back and do that at some point, but right now I think I don't want to. Okay, and this is also part of the data loading, so y'all gonna go in this class. Add a little doc string, 1, 2, 3. And actually, we are not going to want to load in test case here. All right. No, we should keep test case for testing. Yes. Okay. No, I was thinking we don't want to load in the test case because we're going to be using our own provided cases. But I think we do want to keep test case in there so that we can run the data through it and just like real check real quick. Oh, you know what we did? We retrained the encoder, but we did not retrain our model. Let's actually take this from the top, I think. Sorry, I just realized that. So we retrained our encoders a couple of times while we were trying to figure stuff out, but we never retrained the model with a new encoder, and because there is some randomness, I think that the encoder and the model are now sort of out of sync. So let's just retrain everything from scratch, no problem there. Load in the What did I do? I don't think. Okay, I just switched tabs. That's all I did. Okay. Crisis canceled. Load in the Siri pre-trained model and label encoders. That's all it does. Because it also does a little bit of tidying up as well. Okay. I think we actually don't need to do this. I think we can just keep the target class and it's fine. All right. Y contains previously unseen labels. 0. My question I suppose I have is about function scope in Python, because I believe that, oh, I see, it's popping me back over here when a cell finishes training, or when the whole notebook finishes training, maybe? Okay, so I believe that these will be loaded into the scope of the function, but that they won't be loaded in overall. Right? Python function scope? Let's go over. Make it a little bit bigger. All right, local variables in scope. This will not work. Cannot reach Z. This won't work. Z equals 4. Can reach this variable because variable Z is defined in the function. Okay, I see. We'll return the sum, calling functions and functions. Okay. Do I... I think I can use list syntax to return multiple things. All right, and then if we do load data, okay, it just returns a bunch of stuff. Okay, and then we can do great. Okay, excellent. Yes, I believe that's what I want to do, and that should be good. Great. So now we need to create another function. Zeltium says syntax is correct. Thank you. There's a little bit of a delay, so if I don't respond right away, I'm not ignoring you. You are lost in the mists of time and will eventually come into focus. I think we are going to finish this week. I think we'll be ready to get back to working on our actual assistant next week. I hope y'all are excited. And by next week, I mean on Friday, 2 days from now. And I will share all the modeling code as well. So, let's do... def encode data, and then it's going to need to take in the input data. And instead of test case here, we are going to use input data, and then it should return our test case encoded. Boop. And then when we do test case encoded equals encode data and then test case instead, just for testing purposes. All right. Why are you angry? Did I not run the cell? All right, I think it's angry because I'm trying to encode the same data twice, so it's been regularly encoded. Nearman says, hi. Zeltium says, question, do you have recommendations on how to write unit/integration tests for this code? Yes, we will handle that in a little bit. We might do it next week. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. Right now we're just sort of using our test case as like a little flag to make sure that it's working good. Nearman says, wants to know if you're also working from home due to COVID. I always work from home. I work remotely. The Rasa folks, there's an office in San Francisco and there's an office in Berlin, and I live in Seattle. I do have a co-working space that I go to that I'm not going to now for obvious reasons. But yeah, my day-to-day has not changed a whole bunch. At least my work life. The rest of my life is fairly different. All right, so yeah, let's do, I think we want to, I'm trying to think what the most reasonable way of picking this apart is. And I think it's probably, honestly, just returning the top 3 classes. So I'm going to do that. I know I haven't written the rest of the function yet. I will get there. So we are going to do, let's call this def predict cities, and then the input needs to be test case encoded. So we should now be able to do predict cities for test case encoded. We have an error. What's the error? Feature name mismatch. 50. Yeah, we gotta drop that class target, huh? So I did that up here and then I stopped doing it, and I think I actually do need to do it. So it was, let's see if I can remember the syntax, delete. I think somebody posted it in chat, so I'm just gonna scroll up. Yep. Delete test case, and then the target that we had that we did not actually want was class target, and I realized that that should actually be in square brackets. Scroll, 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 scroll. And then like so, and then like so, and we got the same answers out: New York, Houston, and Miami. So I think that works actually. Let's do just like all of our tests down here in the bottom. Where do I use D? Down here. Okay, so I do need to load D into global scope. Oh, there's probably a nicer way to do this. But you know what? This is just like round 1 of refactoring. I think it'll be a good place to stop. I do need to go through and Rachel, this is awfully functional. Yes. Yep, it sure is. Yep, that's all I have to say to that. All right. And Zeltium says you might need square brackets for the delete statement. Yep, I absolutely did. All right, so encode our input data with pre-trained label encoders. And then here, take in encoded data and return top 3 predicted cities. All right. And that would be because I am loading in the data last, and I believe this should work. Yeah, excellent. Expected output equals, although I will say that does make me a little bit nervous. It does feel like maybe, just maybe, we have a little bit of a problem with our classifier. And I guess we'll see. All right, I think we're good to go. Yeah, it took about an hour. Thank you for your help, everybody. This is gonna be what goes into our actions file, I guess, actions Python file, yeah, actions.py in our Rasa assistant. And next week we're going to work on Friday. I keep saying next week because I used to do live coding once a week, and now I do it twice a week. And next week we are going to Friday, not next week, 2 days from now. We will focus on getting this integrated a little bit more. So figuring out how to get that input data, that's going to be a lot of work. But yeah, at the end we should have a dialect quiz that actually works. New Place 01 says, hey, what's your YouTube channel name? So right now I'm actually streaming to the Rasa channel rather than my personal channel, which I have not done anything for many moons. I'll post the link, and then the recordings are there as well. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I should stream to my personal channel as well. Streaming to 3 places simultaneously seems like a lot. But thank you for joining, everyone. I hope this was, if not informative, at least entertaining. And Noob says there's no naming convention on Twitch. Yeah, it's a little, can be a little bit frustrating. And I will see everybody on Friday, same time. Have a great week, stay healthy, wash your hands, and I'll see you then. Bye.